Hey there, this is Ross Scissor, and this is the Backcountry Fly Fishing Podcast, where we talk about fly fishing in more interesting places. This is the end of Season 3. We're going to do just a real short closeout episode here that is part summary, part teaser trailer for Season 4, which will be coming up here in about 5 weeks, and part just sort of celebration. So let's start with the celebration part, right? Because everybody likes party hats and kazoos, so let's do that first. When I started doing this podcast, as most of you know, I had no idea what the hell I was doing. I had been encouraged to start a podcast to talk about this stuff. I had had folks mention that there was a need for this type of podcast focused on wilderness and backcountry fly fishing out there. That there were more weirdos like me that were as interested in the outdoor aspects of fly fishing, like hiking and navigation and exploration and camping and all of the things that come along with it. And so I said, oh, okay, well, screw it. I'll give it a shot. Without really knowing anything about how this podcast thing works. I didn't know anything about microphones or sound design or podcasting or any of that stuff. I just knew about backcountry fly fishing. So I said, screw it. Don't know if anybody will ever listen, but can't hurt. At least it's something fun to do. And I did what I usually do, which is jumped in and got working. And it's been an incredible ride. So a podcast just started last year, and we're obviously closing out the third season here. We're pushing 40 episodes now total published that cover everything from wilderness survival and safety to actually fishing in various types of conditions. And it's been crazy to watch the statistics of the podcast over the course of time. We started out with just a handful of people listening who were probably, friends and family members of mine who felt bad for me. And then it started growing from there. And we went from having maybe a dozen people listen to each episode to now having thousands of people listening to each episode and tens of thousands of downloads, on top of a couple thousand followers on Instagram, more messages from you all on Instagram and Facebook and the email that I can count, and a whole bunch of other engagement with the show that has just been incredible to watch. It's been so gratifying to watch the show grow. It's been so gratifying to see that it is hitting the correct niche in the sport and filling a need that was out there, because there are a lot of fly fishing podcasts out there. It's really cool to see that there was a desire for and a need for a podcast in particular focused on being out in the wilderness and bushwhacking around with fly rods. So it's been incredible. And I just wanted to start out by saying a big thank you to everybody who's listened to the podcast. Thank you to all of you who have written reviews on Apple or on Spotify or anywhere else. I do see those. I read them all. They mean a lot to me. So really appreciate it. I love hearing the good stuff. I love hearing what's working for you, what you like. But I also am open to hearing the bad stuff. There have been a few of you who have been kind enough to reach out with critiques or ideas or, criticisms, I guess, for lack of a better term. And that's fine too. I just love hearing from you guys, and I like seeing the engagement from like-minded anglers out there in this crazy, diverse fly fishing community that we all call home. So thank you guys for that, and please keep them coming. Even though we're going to be out of season here for a little bit, I love seeing those comments. I love seeing the reviews. I love getting the emails. Feel free to write me a note anytime. I will always read them, and I will always respond. And same thing with the reviews. If you have the time and you're feeling so inclined, then 5-star review, awesome. If you're going to leave me a 2-star review, like a couple people did after we posted that episode about high-holing, which probably wasn't a coincidence, that's okay too, but just tell me why the show sucks, right? Like, don't just give me a bad review and not tell me what I could do better. That's an unwinnable game. So if you think it sucks or you think I suck, that's cool. Tell me. But I'd like to know why so that I can work on it, because the more that I do this, the more I am committed to doing it long term, and the more I would like it to be a valuable addition to the fly fishing podcast and media and information universe. So incredibly successful third season here. It's been a really, really fun ride so far. We've got folks listening from all over the world, which is great. And so we're just having a ton of fun, and I'm looking forward to doing more of it. So that's the celebration piece. Now, let's talk a little bit about where we went in season 3. So season 3 was all about spring fly fishing, particularly spring fly fishing in the backcountry. So we talked about everything from how to hike on snowy trails in the spring, to how you indicate or nymph tailwaters in the early spring, to what it looks like when the water starts warming up in April, to guest interviews with folks who are talking to us about how runoff works from a scientific perspective and how you can get on an airplane and go somewhere else if you get sick of dealing with runoff, as well as, technology and outdoor safety. It's been awesome, and it's had a very strong theme focused very specifically on techniques and tactics and gear and, stuff that you need to know when you go backcountry fly fishing. And that's awesome. That tracks pretty well with the first 2 seasons. It's been a pretty good way of organizing things so far, and it's likely to stay largely the same as we move into season 4. But, and here's the teaser trailer part, season 4 is going to be about a little bit more than just those things. Okay, so when we come back, it is the middle of May as we close out this season. The next season will start at the end of June or the first week of July, depending on whether or not you can drag me out of the backcountry and stop me from fly fishing long enough to come back and record these. But we'll get those started, right about the end of June or the first week of July. And it is still going to focus a lot on fishing. So we're going to talk about how to fly fish in the summer. We're going to talk about how to wet wade. We're going to talk about how to deal with high alpine lakes and get to those safely. We're going to talk about how to catch cutthroat, which can be, those fish can be real assholes, especially early in the season. And a number of other things, including guest interviews. But I also would like to have a conversation in the next season about a little bit more of the, let's say, psychological or philosophical side of backcountry fly fishing. And I don't want you to get too nervous. Don't run away yet. I'm not suggesting that we're all going to sit around in tweed jackets and smoke pipes together. Although, to be honest, that doesn't sound like the worst time I've ever had. But I do want to start to acknowledge a little bit more some of the themes that resonate with me in fly fishing, some of the themes that I know resonate with you all because I see them in the messages that you send me. And I want to respect and speak to and touch the other reasons that we all go fly fishing, and specifically why we all go off into the wilderness to go fly fishing, right? So we're out there to catch fish, trout in most cases, as you all know. But that's not really the main point, right? We're out there to see these places. We're out there to explore. We're out there to be in nature. And really, in a lot of cases, we're out there to connect with something deeper than that, right? So we might be out there to spend some time on self-development and growth by doing hard things. And that's something that I do a lot of, something that I have a ton of respect for. And it's a huge part of why we don't just go down the road and fish off the closest pullout. It's why we're going out to places that are hard to catch these fish. Sometimes we're fishing through grief or trouble in our lives or professional issues or family issues or financial issues. And fly fishing is the tether that kind of keeps us grounded through those hard seasons. Sometimes we're fly fishing because we're working through something psychological. I have friends who have taken up fly fishing because they're suffering from PTSD. I have others who have taken it up in the wake of a suicide attempt or other things like that. And there is something really uniquely powerful about this fly fishing thing that we do. And really, I believe specifically about wilderness fly fishing and backcountry fly fishing, which demands that you place yourself in harsh environments that are silent, that reflect back to you all of those things that you carry into the mountains with you, and that really speak to you in a way that not a lot of other activities do. And I want to spend some of the next season really talking about some of those things. It probably won't be full episodes, but I'd like to start weaving some more of that into these conversations as we go. So you have that to look forward to. If you hate that idea, then, I'm sorry, but that's why I like fly fishing. So we are going to talk about it a little bit. And I am really looking forward to it. So thanks again to everybody. Thanks for coming along. I hope that you've enjoyed this season. And I am looking forward to seeing you back here for season 4 in a few weeks. Until then, have fun, stay safe, catch a bunch of fish, and you know where to find me if you want to. Take care, guys. We'll see you soon. Till next time, this is Ross. Maybe I'll see you out there. Just don't ask for any sneak peeks of season 4.